So, students, in last class we had seen the major difficulties due to for the Aryanization. Then we also saw the impact of Hindu religion and Christianity in India. So now moving on, we will start with the Islam in India. Okay, the religion Islam in India. Islam in India. Islam first came to India by peaceful methods, often with the encouragement of Hindu rule. So what happened as Christianity you have, how it came with peaceful regards to the society. The same way even Islam came with lot of peacefulness to India with the help of the Hindu rulers who were ruling during that time. On the western coast, the Balahara dynasty in the north and the Zamorin of the Malabar coast welcomed Muslim traders and encouraged them to settle in places like Anil Varha, Calicut and Quloin. Okay, so you had Zamorin of Malabar coast and also the Balahara dynasty. People they called a lot of Muslim traders who used to come and they made to help them in settle in the regions like Anil Varha, Calicut and Quloin. They could freely build mosque and practice their religion. So what to happen, they were helped to build mosques in the region and they were helped to settle in that region. Also they could practice the Islam religion. Arab and Persian immigrants settled down along the coast of married non-Muslim women. So what happened, the Arabian Persian immigrants who had come and settled, right? So what happened, they stayed here, okay, and married non-Muslim women. So they started marrying non-Muslim women, okay. For example, the Malayalis, the Hindus, they started moving. This is how the Nati community of Konkan and the Mapillai, Fal community of the Malabar coast emerged. So this is how, what happened, the Muslim people, when they started marrying the non-Muslim women, so that gave the emergence of two communities, that is your Navatai or Nati community or the Mapillai or Mohla community of the Malabar coast emerged. The Labais on the east coast of Tamil Nadu are said to have originated from the union of Tamil women in Arabs. So what happened, you have the Labais. Labais are the people who have the emerge of Tamil women, like for example the Muslim men marrying the Tamil women. That is how this community came up, that is Labais, okay. Arabs who were either shipwrecked or exiled from Iraq, the men who had come and settled in India. In the 13th and 14th century, several missionaries were active in Punjab, Kashmir, Deccan and Eastern and Western India. So what happened, lot of even as Christianity, how they had communities, missionaries to spread Christianity, the same way in Islam you had people who were spreading. So for example, in Punjab, Kashmir, Deccan and Eastern Western India, what needs to emphasize is this missionary transmitted the message. So what happened, this missionaries, they transmitted the message, okay, message of let it be Prophet Muhammad. So they transmitted the message of Islam through the love and without the support of armed might of the state. So what happened? They spread the religion with love, okay, stating the spread of Islam. They said the importance of Prophet Muhammad, that it be what is Islam. They started spreading it to people. But they didn't it was not forceful, okay, it was with love. Thus word doubtless one converts, but it also evoked hostility. So what happened? It's not said that only through love they spreaded the Christianity, even through armed might of state, okay. With compulsion also people were converted to Islam. So this word doubtless one converts but also evoked hostility. The saints used Persian and they still have a grateful devote following even among non-Muslims. So what happened? They had a Persian, okay. So they still had a grateful devotee following even among the non-Muslims. So non-Muslims also, the saints, they were someone equal. The socio-political condition in India had changed by the time Ghazni invaded. So you had the two important invaders, that is Ghazni and Ghori, who invaded. It is said around in the 11th century, around 11th to 13th century, Ghazni had come. That is from 11th to 13th century, it is said that Ghazni had come, okay. So when they invaded, in fighting between the rival kingdom and weakened Indian resistance, the Muslim rulers were India not only for spread of Islam but had other interests also. So you have two important people, that is Ghazni and Ghori. So Ghazni's main intention was he came for the purpose of wealth. But Ghori's main intention was he thought that yes, we have to spread the religion, we have to occupy and we have to start ruling. Okay, this is how Muslim rulers started coming into India. Between rival kingdom have weakened Indian resistance. The Muslim rulers were in India not only for the spread of Islam but also for other interests. So even they had some other interest also. Some of them took upon themselves the mission of Islamizing the society more seriously than others. So some of them took it very in serious condition, that is people in India should convert. Okay, discriminating practices such as imposition of GS poll tax. So what happened? How they thought how to convert people? So they starting putting taxes. Okay, like poll tax. In addition, kharaj. Okay, so poll tax is known as jihaz, and kharaj means tax on land. Okay, for example, the farmers are doing, they have to pay tax for it, and on property also. Were pursued more vigorous by the some rulers. Some rulers were very very arrogant in collecting the taxes, while others were relaxed about them. So some of the rulers, they were they didn't make sure that it was compulsory. They just left people in their own way, because even people want freedom, right? Then moving on. Theoretically, according to Islamic doctrine, 3 options were open to non-Muslim under Muslim rule. So whatever non-Muslim are the people who were not converted. Okay, so they had how many rules? 3 options. So to embrace Islam and accept Muslim rule. So what happened? To accept Islam and the Muslim rule as well. Then become the dhimmis and pay jiazi and kharaj. So become the dhimmis, okay, means part of them, and paying the taxes. Fight. Thus the alternatives for them were acceptance of Islam for fight. Okay. Or else if you're not taking Muslim, or if you're not paying tax, what you should have done is you have to fight with the rulers. So this was the 3 aspects. Okay. Despite the long years of Muslim rule, the overwhelming majority of the people remained Hindu. So then too, Hindu were majority. Okay. The army, state, administration and trade and the commerce all depended on the direct, indirect support of the Hindus. So whatever it is, for example, where there is majority, that is how it will run, right? So for the administration purpose, trade purpose, for the commerce, or for all the purpose, Hindus were needed. Thus, in respect jizya, we find that it was levied sometimes and then abolished. Okay, so jizya was they tried to make it 1 minute. So after some years, jizya was abolished. Okay, only to be revealed by the another zealot. In fact, Islam was Indianized. Okay, Islam was Indianized means we adapted it to our own culture. Okay, in the process, it acquired some distinct characteristics in India. The realms of the art and architecture, some distinctive characteristics in India. Okay, so even the art and architecture, right? So it had the the Indian culture mix in it. Okay, in the realms of art and architecture. Okay. Medicine and another secular knowledge, there was also considerable interchange, and composite culture was gradually evolving. So what happened is the medical, secular, everything was Indianized, and it had its own culture. Okay, the same way we were trying to gradually evolve and doing new things. Okay, it may be added that Hindu rule was never completely wiped out from India. During the Delhi Sultanate, the Hindu kingdom of Vijayanagara was impressive power in south. So what happened during the Delhi Sultanate? So when you Delhi Sultanate, you had the kingdoms. No, for example, you had 5 kingdoms. That is your Slave dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Lodi and Sayan dynasty, who were ruling the Delhi part and the North Indian part. During that time, the Vijayanagara was the powerful kingdom in the south. During the Mughal times, warriors like Rana Pratap's refused to surrender. Other worked out adjustment which left them considerable internal autonomy. So what happened? Even when the Mughals were ruling, we had independent kings who were ruling the other parts of India. The Muslim society itself, there was intended differentiation. So in Muslim society, they had internal, within their religion, different changes. For example, the difference between the Ashraf, okay, those claiming descent from the groups of foreign extraction. So Ashraf say that they are the people from the foreign who came and settled, okay, Muslims. And Ajlaf converts from the lower Hindu caste. Okay, Ajlaf are the people who have converted from the lower Hindu castes. Okay, why in the lower caste people convert is because of the intolerance which they have in the Hindu religion. Okay, and a lower social position. Many of the lower groups converted to Islam continue to occupy more or less their old position in the society. Okay. Some Hindus occupied higher position in the royal courts and were even generals in army. So Hindus had the position in royal courts, they were generals in army. Okay. The Hindus and the Muslims aristocracy were closer. Aristocracy means the higher class groups. Okay. They were closest. For example, Hindu Muslims, if you are rich, so or both the richer class are very famous. The poor and Muslims could only have the psychological satisfaction to the belonging to the religion of ruling. So the lower caste people, okay, the poorer Muslim were just known as Muslims, that's all. Okay, but economically and socially they remained backward and exploited. So if you're lower, let it be Muslim or anything, if you convert also, you had what to say, the standard was the same for the people. Okay, the Muslim rulers of India understood the value of communal amenity. Okay, and realize that importance of inter-community tolerance and understanding. So what happened? Then whatever you do, the problem will be there. If you are well off, you are rich, people will consider you as what to say, will talk to you. If you are not well off, people will not what to say, consider you low in the society. So this is how the Islam religion, how it spread in India. Okay, so next moving on to the arrival of Europeans. So when arrival of Europeans came, we had a drastic change. That is when the colonization started. The Portugal entered India waters in 1499. Okay, they had small territories on the western coast but large chunk of the sea trade. In the beginning of the 17th century in Dutch came, then the British arrived in the quick succession, followed by later by French. So you have it is said that Vasco da Gama only was the first man who came to India. Okay, so he was a Portugal, then you had Dutch which came, then British, later the French arrived. Okay, but the British remained in India in captivity for almost till 1947, whereas Dutch, Portuguese, they all went away. British stayed for long and ruled us. Okay, French intervention was a relatively short duration of limited in impact. What happened? Even French tried to stay. Okay, but then to the war between French and British led to the impact and the British had to move. The Portuguese did not distinguish themselves in administration on the nation building activity. But the Portuguese, no, they don't wanted what to say. They didn't come to rule us. Okay, they came for the purpose of trade. They made some impact on religion, cuisine, music, and festives of people in their possession. So the Portuguese, they made changes in religion. Okay, then food habits, then music and festives. They had some hand in the shaping of Goan culture personality. So in Goa, they had a lot of impact. Okay, although this is also was largely a case of creative adaptation of Goans. Even the Goa people adapted it. The French influence was limited and the tiny pocket they owned. So even the French, what to say, they influence very less. Okay, the English had a larger presence of the impact was considerable both in negative and positive terms. So English had both negative and positive. Negative means they ruled us, they had so many, what to say, they had taken so much things, so much wealth from India. Positive means they gave us, what to say, the importance of education. Then we didn't have, what to say, the difference between caste. It was there, but then too in a smaller level. Once they become a dominant power, their economic policy was exploitative. What happened when the British become very powerful in India? They were taking all our raw materials and going away, resulting in the drain of the country's wealth. So what happened? When they used to take the economy, in India we had less wealth. Indian handicrafts and suffered grievance in injury. So Indian handicrafts had a lot of injury. Okay. The British created a new landed aristocracy in the middle of the lower rungs of the civil services of ensure a stable group of loyalists. Okay, so what one more benefit they did was, for example, all the time it is believed that the upper class people had a, what to say, they were good, well educated, they had opportunities for everything. But when Britishers came, they arranged something called civil services. Okay, to ensure that every group of people will write the exams. A complicated system of titles, honors and sunders was evolved to keep their men happy. Okay, so people were given names. The country was unified by a common system of administration. But what happened? We had one single administration, okay, under them. But before that, where kings were ruling, each one were different. A common penal code and civil procedure code, a new network of railways responding to the alien rules. India developed a new self-image and created initiative for the Indian Renaissance. So what happened? We had our own codes, civil procedures, then we have railways, transport, etc. And we got a drastic change known as the Indian Renaissance. The English educated intelligence, which was postures become critical of British misrule and excesses and launched movement for independence. Indian society also developed an awareness and sensitivity of inadequacies, weakness and faults in responding creatively into alien rule. Indian society found itself generating new impulses for reform and social transformation. Thus, we can understand that the emergence of pluralistic society in India from the Indus Valley civilization to the modern. So, what happened? We had developed so many things because of the British misrule, excess of launch and sensitive things. Then we had weakness, we had faults in responding. We responded to all this and we got a drastic change. And it is said that yes, India is a pluralistic society. So we have different kinds of society from the time of Indus Valley civilization to till date, that is till the modern era. So till now, students, we have seen the importance of how the society came into power. Then we saw the process of organization, impact of each religion we saw, then different kinds of races we saw. So we'll be looking on the unity and diversity in the next class, which is relatively the same which is there in your history first chapter, right? In first chapter again you have unity and diversity. The same thing is relative in this sociology chapter, the unity and diversity. So we'll be doing this in the next class.